Hey guys, how's it going? It's your captain, Yeehaw Yadam, and for today's video, we continue to explore the OP04 leaders and possibly the meta. Now, what did Red get in this set? Red got Vivi. Even though Vivi is a dual color leader, this is basically the only leader that I think Red got in this set. So we're going to go ahead and explore it and see exactly what Vivi can do. Now, Vivi is a odd leader that isn't necessarily meta, as it only got one tournament win in the East. And the list that I saw there was so different to what I would like to do with the deck that I just decided to scrap that and try my own little thing here. So this is my little version of Vivi. I'm not sure if it's good. Probably not. It's certainly something though. So let's get right to it. If you haven't heard what Vivi says or what Vivi's ability is, it's very similar to that of Rebecca's. It gets the stipulation, this leader cannot attack. But because of that stipulation, you get to be a 5-life dual colored leader. Kind of nice, kind of cool. I don't really know if that really makes up for it because that is a pretty strong stipulation. Now, Rebecca makes up for it for having a lot of characters that synergize with this leader cannot attack, making, tapping your leader for effects to protect your characters and things along that nature. Now, Vivi doesn't really get that, except for Happiness Punch, I think. But we'll talk about that later. She also gets the ability, if you haven't read what Vivi does, she has the ability Active Main, once per turn, pay to Dawn, then draw a card, and one of your characters gains rush during this turn. Now, this effect right here isn't really tied to having a character on board, so at any point in time, you can always pay 2 to draw a card. If you have a character that you want to summon and you have enough Dawn to pay 2 and give it rush, double bonus, right? The only thing I really feel badly about not playing in this deck is the Vivi character card, but that card is just not great. So let's talk about what we've cooked up behind the scenes here for Vivi, right? So this is my version of Vivi, something I worked along with a couple of my friends, and yeah, it's kind of fun. It's certainly something you can take to locals and enjoy, but I'm not in a big round tournament. You gotta get pretty darn lucky to see this in the top tables, I think. So this is Vivi. I'm going to start by showing you guys what I think I would play in here. In the red package, we have the classic package of Curly Dodon and the boys. We're playing 2 Curly Ds and a ton of red 1-drops, right? So we have Otama and Makino being the most bananas 2Ks in the game, and allowing Curly Dodon to search them makes it really, really good. Then within those searchers that Dodon can hit, Dodon can also hit another searcher. Wow, you love to see it. Dodon, search. Feels terrible. And then we have the last 1-drop to round off our team. We have Thatch, right? So we have 16 1-drops, making sure that Curly D is in that really nice range to not whiff. Now, why are we playing the Whitebeard Pirates? Well, because I think it's really interesting when you can give Marshall DT Rush, because this is a very powerful card. It just never gets to attack, right? When you summon a Teach, they somehow deal with it, especially now with Red Rock and 3000 Worlds being all over the place. Your Teach is just you're gonna pay 4 Dawn, and it's gonna look at you, and then it's gonna disappear. So getting to attack with it feels absolutely great. This little combo of Thatch plus Teach feels really, really solid. You summon a Thatch onto the board. I don't think people are playing as much small removal as they were before, and now you can get to go ahead and Makino your Thatch, swing for 7, summon Teach, draw a card, swing for 7, draw a card, and now we're keeping up a lot of tempo, which feels really darn nice. So we're playing 16 Whitebeard Pirates, including the bangers of Edward Newgate, Marco, and Radical Beam, as I'm still playing as if they were restricted in the Western meta. Now, I know that if this restriction is lifted, a lot of the red lists that you're going to see throughout many channels are going to be very, very different and modified accordingly, but we're going to be playing as though it sticks for now. So we got 16 Whitebeard Pirates, a couple blockers, this little package here. We're going to be playing Ace. Now, why are we playing Ace? Because we can technically play Ace as if though we were a Whitebeard Pirate, because if we pay 2 with Vivi, we can give it Rush. Now, 9 Dawn for Ace. Is he good enough to be 9 Dawn? Maybe. I just really like Ace, So I'm going to play him in my deck. Then we play Searchable 2K, and that's about it. Now, what does the blue package really give us? Well, we got a couple really solid things. Again, a fantastic blocker for more defense with some sort of cycle and synergistic searches. Then we've got Soga King for hand filter. We've got King, who will see no gameplay in any other deck possibly than Vivi, because For 9 Dawn, we get to summon an 8K, draw a card, and swing. That's kind of darn cool and is a lot of hand advantage. And in a game state where you somehow have the tempo by summoning cards, you know, after you've played Ace and Flamingos and and a Teach, after you've already like sort of amassed some board pressure, you follow that up with a King to refuel your hand, and you're in a really solid position. We're playing 2 Flamingos because bouncing a card and then rushing for 7 is really, really solid. And then we've got a couple of defensive options here in the form of Radical Beam, again, one of the best, arguably the best event counter in the game, especially in the color of red. Then we got Happiness Punch, which is like the Vivi-centric event counter, stating that if one of your leaders or give one of your opponent's leaders or characters -2k during this turn, then if your leader is active, give them an additional -1k. So this is like a guard point that you can split around, which is really nice. And since your leader will never be tapped because it's Vivi, it's always active. It's also, just to make note, it is a Straw Hat Crew card, so theoretically Nami can search, and there definitely is a version where Nami is the base searcher for this deck, and you can play like another bunch of weird stuff, but we're going to be trying this one. And then lastly, we have Gum Gum Red Hawk, which is again a Straw Hat Crew card. Just saying, there is some goo there if you want to go and explore it on your own. But this is what we're going to be trying out so far. So let's go to the games, check out how she does, and let's see just how good Vivi can possibly be. Alrighty, so for our first game, we're going to be playing versus the Flamingo leader. Now, this is a leader that I've grown to be very afraid of. I think it's a very powerful leader in general because of the fact that just keeping up that extra 2 Dawn is huge, right? You have all this defense, and also the film package is insane at keeping up board tempo. So he goes out and plays Buena Fiesta, and thank the Lord he's not able to draw a film card. Very weird that he's not able to do that, but I'm taking it. So he's going to go ahead and attack me for 8. Sure, bro. Now you can untap 2 Dawn. Haha, I got him. So I go ahead and I tap 2 to draw a card, play Izo. Izo's going to go ahead and find the Marshall D Teach. And then we're off to the races, right? We can kind of do a little bit of gaming. No. So basically, it's all we can do for our turn, which is, it ain't too much. He's going to attack me for 5. I'm going to go ahead and defend with the Soga King. And man, our hand is looking really big. So he plays out Guild Tesoro, which is kind of an issue. I have to immediately Red Rocket, so there won't be a double draw this turn, unfortunately. That card just needs to get answered, right? He needs to pay 5 Dawn, do nothing. He's going to attack me for another 5. I'm going to opt to take it. And then he goes ahead and plays Monkey D. Luffy. It goes back to my turn, and now I could Flamingo the Luffy, but I can't Flamingo the Luffy and get value, right? So this is a tough turn for me. I don't get the double draw once again, but I do have to just start applying some pressure onto the board. So I will Flamingo the Luffy inevitably. He did summon a Shiki, so if he wants to attach 2 Dawn to attack with Shiki, be my guest. Gonna attack me for 5 and 5. Eventually, yeah, he's gonna. I do have a finite hand, right? He's figured out that is a way to win this game, theoretically. Spiritually. He's gonna summon another Shiki. Alright. You think you've cornered me, brother? Alright, so I'm gonna attack 7 at the leader. I'm gonna ignore the Shikis for now. Then I'm gonna go ahead and play a White Beardo and pass. So Whitebeard is a horrible card in this deck, and as I'm gonna be talking to you guys, I'm taking some time off of the commentary to talk about what I think this list can do. And I think Whitebeard, the Ace card and the Marshall D Teach package actually felt really awesome. But Whitebeard just doesn't fit with the deck because even though it is a defensive-ish card, right, makes my leader a 7k, I don't get to attack. So I'm losing that aspect of the Whitebeard, and then it just gets red rocked. Like it's susceptible to the removal that exists now in OP05, and it just doesn't feel as good as it once, I mean, in this deck at least. So I'm going to go ahead and Happiness Punch, remove it, right? Remove that attack from attacking my Flamingo. And then what is he going to do with the rest of it? Turn attach 2 Dawn to his Dolphy and attack? Sure. Oh, attaches 4 Dawn to his Dolphy and attack. So I'm just going to combo out of this real quick. And it's off to my turn. And ooh, boy, we got some gaming to do. I'm going to go ahead and play Ace. Ace is going to go ahead and just make a couple cards reduced. I'm going to go ahead and swing here, pop the Nami. And as long as I'm able to remove the cards that have infinity value in his deck, he's gonna be able to get a little bit punished, right? So he's gonna play this film card, and I do get immediately punished by Union, right? Because I don't know how that card works. People play this card. Yeah, the card is really, really strong. Basically makes it so that one of your characters cannot be KO'd by card effects. And yeah, I mean, making it so that I can KO his Luffy and his Nami on the same turn here is really solid for him, right? So my hand is now starting to dwindle in size. I went from like a 10 card hand to a 5 card hand. But I do have a lot of big dudes on the board, right? And big dudes kind of win games sometimes. He only has a Luffy, and then the rest of his board is fake. He's going to go ahead and attach 2 to Luffy, 3 to Luffy, 4 to Luffy, 5 to Luffy, 14 to Luffy. Yeah, sure, he can KO the Whitebeard, bro. It doesn't really matter. He's going to attach 6. See, but 13 is such a bad number because I just give you 2 2Ks, and now you can't even contest it again, right? If you KO my Flamingo, I don't even care. Yeah, he's going to attack my leader. I'll take it and play an Uda. Now, Uda doesn't really mess with anything on my board, so I have no issue here. I'm going to go ahead and probably end up playing the King, even though I have the Thatch, Marshall, D-Teach combo. We'll save that for another day, right? So we're going to go 7 at the Luffy. I'm not going to try to invest any Dawn. I'm just going to try to get finally a turn where I can double draw. And this turn, I might even be able to triple draw. I'm going to go 7, 7. Right, so going bases at Flamingo is really, really good because eventually they will just have to start giving you plus 4Ks. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card here off the King. Going to use Rebecca's ability to give King Rush. Draw another card, 8 at the Luffy. And now our hand's looking good again. And we have a Radical Beam to boot. Ooh, the Luffy goes down. Sick. 10. Awesome. Now we got a lot of combo power in hand, and the smallest card on our board is a 7K. Well, I mean, let's not talk about ease. Let's ignore that that's a card on the board. But yeah, feeling good so far. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, I just don't think that the Whitebeard is a card that eventually makes its way into the deck. I think what the deck really wants to do is make characters that don't have rush gain that rush ability, right? Such as this King. This King feels really, really good in this deck. Maybe like some amount of like the Animal Kingdom Pirates might be able to feel good, like the ultis and things of that nature. But I don't know. It's really tough. I think that the red package just seems good enough, like with all these very powerful Whitebeard cards, and then you just go from there. He's gonna go ahead and summon a Luffy. Will he sack something? He won't. I'm going to go ahead and just attack leader for 7s here. Here's where we just go face at this number is really, really nice, right? So he's going to either have to give me a plus 4, a blocker. He opts to give me a blocker here. There's no real reason to defend the Izo. I mean, to defend the Uda. Sure, you tap the Izo, but that card was never attacking anyways. I'm going to go ahead and hit him for 7 again. And he's starting to get afraid. Okay. Now we can just continue the onslaught. 10. Does he take the 10? Okay. Thinking. He takes the 10. I go 8 at lead again. And he's going to have to show me a plus 4. Will he have it? He does have the Spiderweb to reset the Luffy, and then I'll deploy another King, and then I'll give that King Rush and draw a card, and then hit for another 8. And then he blocks, gives me a 2K, and I pass. Sure. Look at my board, man. Oh, Vivi is crazy. So he's going to go ahead and attach 4 to Flamingo. Sure. I'm going to go ahead and Radical Beam plus a 1K. All right, what are we going to do now? We have 6 Dawn available, and my hand is still glorious. So this is going to just be the final turn of the game. I'm going to go 7. I'm going to go ahead and defend the 7 as well. Shiki's getting in there. Shiki for 7. So he's going to go 7-7 probably, or 5-5. Either way, it doesn't matter. I can defend it, so I'm going to goad him into doing 7. Go 7. I combo out of it. And yeah, I got a board full of big dudes. GG. For our second game here, we're going versus Queen, and Queen is the... it's going to be a long one. So strap yourselves in, right? So Queen as a deck is just going to try and make the game go on forever, right? So maybe, you know, this is exactly what Vivi wants to do. We get to double draw every turn. And if there's no amount of pressure on the Queen side, then we're in a very solid position, right? So Queen opts to go first. Does nothing on the second turn, but attacks us. We draw on our first turn. We might just end up drawing here. Ooh, and we got the combo. We're going to go Izo Thatch. Going to go ahead and add the Thatch to my hand and then play a Thatch and pass my turn. So if he isn't able to summon a character here, which I hope he isn't, right? Because if he's not, then I'm able to go Thatch with the Makino and the Teach and go 7-7, which is, ooh, that's a lot of damage, right? Opts to go ahead and put 2. Hits me for 7. I'll take this one. I get another Teach, I guess. And then he plays a Brûlée. So, not terrible. So I'm going to opt to go ahead and thinking what I want to do here. I most certainly want to play the Teach. We're going to start getting some value out of it, but I'm so greedy. It's crazy, right? So I'm going to play the Flamingo. The Flamingo is going to go ahead and start placing to the top because I do end up wanting to get the Whitebeard, right? That card's just too strong not to have, right? Put 2Ks on the top because I just want to go ahead and defend. I'm going to go ahead and give this guy rush, and then I'm going to pass. Probably should have summoned a secondary Thatch here, but I wanted to keep one up just for like a happiness punch because I do have to start using this card at some point. It's going to go ahead and attack me for 9. I'm just going to defend. I'm going to play a Pound and pass. Now, Pound, funnily enough, is going to be pretty good here at dealing with like this weird pressure that I have. I'm going to opt to read this card. It's very rare that I get it. So I'm going to go and use Thatch's effect, gain 2k. Then I'm going to summon Teach. I'm going to give Teach rush. Going to go ahead and attach a Dawn here, 5. Then he can choose to Pound block, heal my Ezo. Or heal the... I'm trying to say if he wants to heal the Thatch, right? Because that's a possibility to stop my Teach from popping off. But then I would Machino instead. He opts not to do that, which is weird. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my own Thatch to draw a card and hit for 7. And then I'm definitely going to just Machino on top of this and just say, let's get it, boys. So my opponent opting to think on the 7, no trigger. We'll summon another Thatch and pass. I was kidding on the Machino. Not yet. Soon, though. Soon. We do have another Teach in our hand, so our next turn is probably going to be another, like, Teach Thatch combo, because that's just so strong. If we can get it, like, multiple turns of using Teach, ooh, it's so strong. So he's going to go ahead and attack me for 6. Just going to defend this. I did have an extra Machino, so he's going to go ahead and life my Teach. It's going to go back to my turn. I'm going to summon probably a King here, and then give King Rush, and then just go at it. I do want to start drawing into my red rocks, and I need to cycle into them as much as I possibly can. He can opt to go ahead and Pound here on KO, and he does. He opts to life one of my dudes. So he does have, between him and I, we have 8 total cards in life. So if he does summon Yamato here, Yamato will be able to pop my King, which feels bad, man. So he goes ahead and attaches a 1 Dawn to Queen. And then he swings. I should take this hit. Awesome. No trigger. And then he can't. Oh, sorry. King's a 7. I thought he was an 8. He's good enough to be an 8. And he goes ahead and attacks me. So, powerful turn. I'm going to have to remove this Yamato. And then I'm going to go ahead and field a Teach or a Marco. Haven't decided just yet. It looks like I'm going to opt for the Marco here, as I do think this game is going to be going on for a little bit. But the removal that Queen has is really good versus Marco, as you can see here. 3,000 Worlds, Mihawks, and things along that nature, Katakuri. They just life it, you know what I mean? Not like it's going to do too much. It's going to go ahead and hit me for 7. I'm going to combo out of the 7 pretty easily here. And then it's probably going to go back to my turn. It goes Boa. Boa is good. Now, I don't really have a board, which sucks, right? I don't have cards that are threatening any of his characters, which is not great. So I'm going to go 7 at 5 here. He should probably block since my Vivi can't really do much. I'm going to keep one up. He opts to pass the turn here, which is unfortunate simulator moment. I'm going to go 7 at the lead. That's a sim moment. And then we're going to be able to King double draw. I think this is a good turn to develop a Whitebeard, right? Just to kind of get him out there. Force him to red rock this turn, which ties up his Dawn significantly. And then the only card he can play on top of that is like a Sanji. Speaking of, there goes red rock. And then if he wants to attach Dawn to like KO the ace, it's going to make his turn a little bit weird. He goes and attacks me for 9, which is super strange. Going to go ahead and reduce his leader, especially since I'm Whitebearded. You definitely don't go for me. You go for the ace that turn. But who am I? I'll go ahead and play a secondary ace. Now that's a good card in this situation because I do have a card that does threaten him. So I go 7 at 5, and then I'm going to go 7 at 5. And then I'll keep one for another happiness punch. Okay, there goes a 2k and a 1k, and I lied. I'm going to go 5 again. I'm going to try to KO this Katakuri. I do not succeed. I mean, I do have like 40 cards in hand, so we got time. If anything, we've got time, right? So he's going to go ahead and attack the Machino. I'm not going to defend it because that's just... That's excessive. I don't think I've ever seen anyone defend a Machina unless you have like a blocker on the board. And he's going to go ahead and attach 1 Dawn, swing 9 at my leader. I'm going to go ahead and let this go through because I just what's gonna happen, right? And then he goes ahead and he bottom decks one of my aces, right? And this is exactly what I was talking about. The Mihawk is just good removal against my deck in specific, right? I'm trying to think of what I can do on this turn to possibly remove this card, and I just don't really have a way to do it, right? Gonna go ahead and attach 5 Dawn, right? Because I want to go 4 above the Katakuri. I just need to remove these cards so that he can never heal. Then I'm going to go ahead and play a Teach because I do have to get this uncounterable card out of my hand. And I could play a Thatch on top of that, but I, again, want to keep one up for Happiness Punch, which is absolutely fine. As long as I'm able to remove his characters and I'm in a good spot. I do play more Red Rock, so I want to cycle into another Red Rock as possible. And Teach is going to allow me to do that because using my leader's ability and all these good things, I will be able to just get to where I need to go. So my Happiness Punch, which is just guard point, get out of the 7. And then let's see what he does with the rest of his turn. Attach 1 Dawn, go for 10. I think I don't want to get that low, so I'm going to go ahead and give him 3 2Ks here. He's going to play Boa, Sanji. My turn once again. I get the Radical Beam, just more counter. I'm down. I'm down if you're down. And I am unable to remove this Mihawk this turn. I don't believe I can. Trying to think of a way that I can maybe do it, but it just seems really tough. I can like 9 it twice, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do. So I'm going to go 9 at the Mihawk. He'll probably end up giving me a card in hand because I just want to make sure that, you know, if he has no cards in hand, it better be like he has life as well, so he can't start doing what he can. So I'm going to go ahead. Thinking of Saga King, bouncing the Sanji and cycling again for more Red Rocks. That's another possibility. I'm going to remove the Flamingo, remove the extra Teaches, probably the Teaches. The Flamingo can possibly do things. I'm going to use no action, swing for 6. He's going to probably end up taking this life, right? And then keep one up for Radical Beam and pass. He Red Rocks my Teach, which feels horrible. But inevitable. It is going to happen at some point in time. I am kind of like slowing this game down too much. I'm not playing my kings when I definitely could be just really cycling for that, you know, to get towards my late game. Yeah, you should play the Sanji first. There you go. Now you'll be able to heal one. So he's going to go 8k. I'm going to rad. And then he's probably going to go 9k. And then we're in trouble. We're certainly in trouble. Yeah, we don't have enough 2Ks in our hand to really get out of like multiple 9Ks. And with 2 blockers on top of that, or if it's going to summon another blocker. Should have done the blocker before healing, but I mean, it is what it is. Maybe, no, yeah, he definitely should have done that before healing. Gonna draw for turn. Oh, man. So now I'm forced to play a set amount of blockers this turn and try to get some value that way. Gonna go 7 at lead. He blocks. 7 at lead. Blocks. Cool. Then I have to play like Fossa. Again, cycling some... I don't even know how I'm going to get out of this one. I'm going to go ahead and Soga King. Soga King's going to draw me 2. I'm going to go ahead and remove these Flamingos. And I'll play a Fossa and pass. So as long as he doesn't have removal for the Fossa, we're in a solid spot. But... almost every 9-drop in his deck will remove my Fossa, right? Yamato removes it, Mihawk removes it, Katakuri, but in a weird way, probably doesn't want to remove it like that. So all I'm trying to do here is make a board that can hit for 7s as much as possible, and then try to slowly win the game like that, and then try to defend possibly these next couple of turns, but it's going to really come down to the wire, I think. And I think this position that we're currently in would be significantly different had we just used our kings and other cards to cycle, to see our other copies of Red Rock. Because the only card that's stuck on the board this long is this Mihawk, right? And if we just had the answer to it, my goodness, we'd be in such a good spot. So I think we're like, I don't think I hover over it, but we're somewhere within the realm of like 18 to 20 cards left in the deck, right? And we've only seen one of the 3 red rocks, which I think is a little bit of a low roll, but it is what it is. So my opponent taking quite some time to think about what he's going to go ahead and do. He does have 2 life, so I'm going to have to deal with that. And if he's able to summon 2 blockers out of hand and then heal 1 more, oh boy. Oh boy. We're in for a rough one. So yeah, my opponent's still thinking about exactly what to do here. Kind of taking some time off. But currently, how you guys enjoying Vivi? I think the deck is pretty darn cool. And I don't think it's going to win any tournaments anytime soon, but doing this is very cool for locals or something like that. Gonna go ahead and attach 4. Oh, it's gonna 9/9 me. So I do have to combo out of this one, right? So, because I don't think with any of the Dawn that he has left, he's gonna be able to go ahead and, you know, KO my blocker and then hit me for a big number once again. If he is able to do that, then he wins, right? There's not much that I can do, but just based upon what the deck does, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and block this. He wasn't able to heal one, and he plays Sanji. I do get my red rock, thank the Lord. But let's see if he blocks with the Sanji, then I can red rock, play Fossa, draw a card. Gaming. He takes the 7. That's very good for us. I'm gonna attaching a Dawn here makes it so that I don't draw a card, but we'll see. Takes the 7 again. Will he take this 7? He blocks. I get to red rock. Yeah, red rock and Fossa it is. I could also just go for game, right? There is a universe where I could just have gone for game here, but this puts me susceptible to like a 3,000 worlds. Ugh. So it's tough to know what was better there. Had I put 8 Dawn on the Ezo, would 10k have won me the game? Probably. So unfortunate choice, but we take this L with gratitude. All right, and for our last match here, we are going versus Rebecca. Yeah, I'm going to have to cleanse the palate after such a long and thought-provoking match into another grind one. Pass on turn 1. My opponent is able to start with Colosseum, leader ability, find himself a Sabo. Going to go ahead and draw a card, play Ezo. Ezo try to find me the Thatch. I don't find the Thatch, but that's kind of like the bread and butter combo, right? You know, the draw a card, Ezo Thatch, then set up for the Martial DT. That's kind of what the deck wants to do. And after that, question mark. I haven't gotten that far yet. My opponent's going to go to 4 Dawn here. This is really solid because in this matchup, they don't really apply too much pressure. He's going to go ahead and play another Colosseum just to cycle cards out of his hand to keep his hand within the threshold of effect. He's going to go ahead and play a blocker. This is awesome because the blocker doesn't really threaten much damage. I'm able to go ahead and stack my deck. I do want these red rocks. They're super important in this matchup. I do want the king. And yeah, I'll take it. I'll draw a card and pass. Because my leader can also draw cards. Vivi. Vivi looking good versus the Rebecca. So he's going to go ahead and Sabo, draw 2, trash 2. Yeah, that's about it. That's it for his turn. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card for my turn. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can just summon a threat and draw a card. And hiya. Maybe this procs some form of interaction. He's probably just going to give me a 2k here. But I do give him a card that he can attack with and just continue to cycle. I don't think this was the best move from me, right? Because if my opponent is unable to interact with my card and just allows me to gain value in a certain way by drawing every turn as Vivi, then I think that's better for me than doing this specific play. But it is what it is. Put my opponent on the clock. It's going to go ahead and 8 against my Martial DT after popping my blocker. And I have to decide if I want to go ahead and defend this or not. I believe I will. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and defend it. I do know that my next couple of draws are just like 2Ks. So that's really, really good for us. Unfortunately, this Kyros is just going to stay for the rest of the game. That card is so unbalanced, man. I'm just going to have to deal with 5Ks for the rest of eternity. So I'm going to go back to my turn here. I'm going to opt to... I'll attack for 6. No ability. Gonna give me 7. I'm gonna king, draw a card. Draw a card. 8. And yeah, go for it, boss. That's all my deck really does. It just summons dummies that go face. He summons Luffy. If he has King Kong gun, my board is just gone, which really sucks. And yep, he's got the King Kong gun. You got it. He's out of here. Opts to unfreeze him, and then yep, that guy's out of here too. 5. Ouch. I'll take 1 because I need cards in hand, and I do draw the Thatch Marshall D Teach combo, which is nice. But this guy's getting red rocked. Just need to get Luffy off the board because Luffy will not allow me to develop anything, right? Imagine I summon this Teach into the Luffy. He just bottom deck 7, attach it on to Luffy, clear my Teach, and it's just tougher. I need him to expend more resources, so my opponent opts to summon Orlumbus, target the Kitos. You know, Kitos is going to go ahead and tap the Colosseum, then he's going to summon Leo, and then he pops my Teach. It is what it is, man. I can't keep cards on the board. Orlumbus, you know, even though these cards can attack because of Colosseum, they can't really attack my face, so don't really care. So he's going to go ahead and Kyros my face, and I don't have anything in my hand that deals damage. He's going to hit me for 5. Yeah, Orlumbus cannot attack face. I'm going to use Vivi's ability. No, he's going to summon a secondary Sabo. Okay. And then pass it on back to me. I'm going to have to deploy a card that, you know, applies some amount of pressure. I'm going to go ahead and use Flamingo to bounce the Sabo. Attach 2 and face. We're going to actually bounce the Kyros. Make it so that he has to use a lot of Don Camarios. He has Orlumbus. Orlumbus is going to have to remove a card on the board before he can summon the Kyros. Opts to just Kyros my Izo, which is fine. It's cool. He's going to use Orlumbus's effect, and then he's going to what? Trueno Bastardo. Oh, he's going to go ahead and 3,000 Worlds. Yep. I have no board. You have succeeded in the Rebecca game plan of making sure I have no cards. He's going to attack me for 7. Yeah, I'll take it, I guess. I need more cards in hand, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and bounce this guy. I'm going to cycle some cards here. Let's see. This combo is never happening. I'm going to draw another card and get in there, Soga King. Attack. We're really not doing much, huh? But on the bright side, we do have like a lot of cards in hand, which is nice, right? Eventually we'll use them. Oh, and there goes another card off my board. Yep. I like to pretend I have cards in play. I'm going to go ahead and Happiness Punch. He's going to go 7 here. So he's going to go like 7, 7, 7, 7. I would definitely attach 2 down to the Sabos here. He doesn't need to play the blocker. I'm going to go ahead and play King. Draw a card, go at Orlumbus. Probably block with the 2-drop blocker. Pass. Yeah, but so Rebecca's playing this a little bit too safe. Definitely I would just, that turn, instead of playing the blocker, you just turn your entire board sideways. Make everything a 7 and just say, give me 2 cards over and over again. Or lose the game. And opts to go ahead and King Kong Gun on the Kyros, and we're just attaching 4 Ton. So this is a 15k attack. Wow, that's big. Yeah, he's gonna go for game. I'm gonna go ahead and Radical Beam here. Give him a couple of the 2Ks. The Jozus are the ones that are the most useless, and then I'm gonna give him, you know, an assortment of cards. I'm gonna get out of 15. Don't want to get dual attacks. He's gonna go ahead and summon Rebecca. Rebecca's gonna find him a Bartolomeo. He's gonna go ahead and probably use leader effect as well. Hit me for 6. Yep. Find another King Kong. Attack for 6. Yeah, this turn was probably pretty fine, but he should theoretically turn these Sabo sideways. Gonna go ahead and reduce the cost of these cards. Gonna go and remove the Orlumbus. And I definitely can't attack the Kyros, so I'm gonna go 7 at face. It's gonna block in 2k with the Bardo, and yeah, I'm gonna pass. Unfortunately, I don't have any 1-drop here that like is a searcher in the form of Izo, and we're attaching Dawn again. Oh boy. 2 2Ks. And yeah, don't think I'm gonna be able to summon Marco this game. It's gonna go 8, 9, 10. Okay, you've done it. 10 it is. And then 11. Yeah, I combo out of it. Are we able to get there somehow, some way? 7. We're not. Dang it, we're dead. It's not the way we wanted to go down, boys. We're gonna go ahead and bottom deck this, play Fossa, draw a card. Yeah. All right, he's gonna have to show me some numbers here. Plays another one. That doesn't really do much, thank God. It's gonna go attach a bit of Dawn to Rebecca, and 6 is the wrong number, my dude. Somehow we got out of there. Let's go. So, final thoughts on the deck. Honestly, it's not the worst thing that's ever walked the planet, but I don't really think it's gonna win many tournaments. The blue matchup is so frustrating. It's not even funny. Removal is very powerful versus this deck, right? Because you do summon just a bunch of big idiots, and you use them in a rush format where they have a really nice on play, such as King, Don Quixote, Ace, Teach, right? So you try to make your leader a pseudo like 6 or 7k while also keeping hand advantage, which is super duper nice, right? That sounds fantastic. But if they just go like 3,000 worlds, 3,000 worlds, 3,000 worlds while reducing your card's current cost, or Red Rock, man, Red Rock is... Just started playing this format and this card's already... It's feeling real good, man. And Kaido, wow. Blue cards. But back to the deck. I think it was actually pretty decent. It did what it wanted to do most of the time. Obviously, now that I'm coming back and looking at the deck, there are some solid ratio changes that need to be made or modified in order to make the deck a little bit stronger, in my opinion. I would have obviously considered playing 4 Red Rocks. There were so many scenarios where I was like, man, if I just had a Red Rock versus Queen players or things along that nature when I was trying to get some videos, that this card would have just absolutely won me the game on the spot. Maybe increasing the ace amount, removing the Whitebeard is this card, even though it is a one of, it's part of the holy trinity of red. I don't think this deck really utilizes it in a very good fashion. I would keep Marco. He's just an infinite blocker, especially with this amount of Whitebeard pirate cards. But definitely changing the Newgate out for another ace, moving this to 4, and then trying to find space for possibly like a little bit more, just a little bit more counter. Maybe you can play another 3,000 worlds, so I can maybe remove this, go up to this, and then I think Ace just performed so well that I would just remove the Flamingos and then just go Ace. Usopp actually felt fantastic, allowing me to cycle off dead Teaches and just get more counter power. So there's definitely that. The deck, again, feels absolutely good in some matchups where like they don't just have spot removal. Matchups where they do have spot removal, it's going to be a little bit trickier. You can win them. It's just going to be like a literal 30-minute game where you're grinding it out because your deck goes down to maybe like the last 15 cards every game. If it's a very slow control deck, aka something like a Queen or a Crocodile, you're in it for the long one, brother. But I hope you guys like these games. I hope you want to test the deck out, and maybe we gave you a little bit of I don't know, the courage, the boost, the morale to take this to a locals and just have fun with it. I don't think the deck is too expensive, and it doesn't really incorporate many new cards from the next set besides the leader itself. So hopefully it'll be easy to acquire and you can have some fun with it too. If you guys like this sort of content, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section where we can talk about how we can improve Vivi, any other considerations. I've tried a lot of variations of this, and this is where we're basically at this moment, that it doesn't feel too cope. And as always, guys, if you like this sort of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can keep pumping out that OP TCG content. And I'll see you guys on the next one.